The power of absence is not just about creating a sense of longing in others. It's also about giving ourselves the time and space to recharge, to reflect, and to grow. When we are constantly giving, we may lose sight of who we are, of what we truly want, and of what we truly need. But when we step back, when we create that space, we open the door for self-discovery, for personal growth, and for the evolution of our relationships. In the end, letting others miss you is not about playing hard to get or creating distance for the sake of distance. It's about understanding the value of your own presence and knowing when to give others the space to appreciate it. It's about finding balance in your relationships, in your work, and in your own life. It's about creating an environment where you can be your best self, where you can thrive, and where you can experience the deep, meaningful connections that come when people truly value you for who you are. This isn't just a principle for relationships with others. It's also a principle for the relationship you have with yourself. In order to truly connect with others, we must first learn to connect with ourselves. We must give ourselves the space to grow, to reflect, and to recharge. When we take care of ourselves, when we value our own time and energy, we create the conditions for others to value us as well. So, let them miss you. Not because you are playing a game, but because you are showing up for yourself, taking care of your own needs, and creating the space for others to realize your value. And in that space, something beautiful happens. Both you and those around you can grow, can appreciate one another more deeply, and can form connections that are grounded in true respect, love, and understanding. The power of absence, the power of stepping back, is not just about creating longing in others, but about allowing for growth, reflection, and appreciation. When we learn to step back, when we learn to value our own presence and our own time, we not only enrich our relationships with others, but we also enrich the most important relationship we will ever have, the one with ourselves. In our work, for example, how many of us find ourselves constantly checking emails, responding to messages, and attending to tasks that are not aligned with our true purpose? How many of us get caught in the whirlwind of external demands, only to find ourselves feeling drained, disconnected, and unfulfilled? The same principle applies here. When we constantly give without taking the time to step back and evaluate our own intentions, we lose sight of what is truly important. In relationships, the dynamic is no different. When we are constantly available, constantly giving, constantly doing, we may begin to lose the essence of the connection. We become so absorbed in the relationship that we forget to take care of ourselves, to nurture our own passions, and to pursue our own goals. And as a result, the relationship can become imbalanced, with one person giving more than the other. This imbalance leads to resentment, fatigue, and eventually disconnection. When we take the time to step back, to allow ourselves the space to miss others and be missed, we create room for growth. Absence allows for reflection, for appreciation, and for deepening connections. When we are constantly present, we may find ourselves neglecting the most important relationship we have, the relationship with ourselves. The truth is, we are all deserving of love, attention, and appreciation. But we must first learn to give those things to ourselves before we can truly receive them from others. And when we are able to step back, when we allow people the opportunity to miss us, we create the space for love to grow, for appreciation to blossom, and for relationships to flourish. It's not about being distant or cold. It's about knowing when to show up and when to give space. It's about being mindful of our energy, our time, and our presence, and knowing that we are worthy of being valued. It's about creating an environment where both parties can grow, where both people can find their own strength, and where both people can come together with a renewed sense of appreciation and love. On the other hand, when we learn to step back, when we give people the space to miss us, we remind them of our value. Absence in this case does not create a void, but instead, it creates a sense of longing, a sense of appreciation. People begin to realize what they had, and in that realization, they begin to understand the importance of our presence in their lives. But this isn't about being distant or cold. It's about learning the art of balance. It's about knowing when to be present and when to step away. The key to this balance lies in our ability to cultivate a sense of self-worth that doesn't rely on the constant validation of others. When we become comfortable with who we are, when we stop seeking approval, we begin to attract the right people into our lives, people who value us not for what we give, but for who we are. It's important to understand that our worth is not determined by how much we give to others, but by the quality of our presence. When we learn to value our time, our energy, and our love, others will begin to see it too. The most profound connections in life are not the ones where we are constantly available, but the ones where both people can share in moments of absence and return to each other with a renewed sense of appreciation. There's a certain power in stepping back. In giving someone the space to miss you, you are also giving them the opportunity to reflect on their own needs, their own emotions, and their own desires. When we are always there, we often become a crutch for others, a source of comfort that they lean on without ever fully developing their own emotional resilience. But when we step away, when we allow the distance to grow, we give them the opportunity to realize their own strength, to discover the power of their own emotions, and to learn the true value of connection. This isn't just about relationships. It applies to every area of our lives. It applies to our work, our friendships, and even our relationship with ourselves. When we make ourselves constantly available, we begin to lose sight of what truly matters. We become reactive rather than proactive, responding to the demands of others without ever taking the time to consider our own needs. In life, we are constantly surrounded by people, circumstances, and expectations that demand our attention and energy. Every day, we give a piece of ourselves, whether it be through our actions, our emotions, or our thoughts. But in all this giving, we often forget the importance of maintaining our own inner peace, our own sense of self, and most importantly, the value of letting others miss us. At its core, the idea of letting someone miss you isn't about playing games or manipulating others. It's not about withdrawal or pretending to be unavailable. It's much deeper than that. It's about understanding the power of presence and absence, and recognizing that to be truly valued by others, we must first learn to value ourselves. We live in a world that is increasingly fast-paced, where instant gratification has become the norm. We are constantly connected, constantly available, constantly in motion. This digital age has given us the illusion of proximity, but in reality it has created a sense of emotional distance. We are always present online, but less and less present in the moment. We are constantly sharing, liking, commenting, and responding, often without considering the impact it has on our sense of self. The need to be constantly available can be draining. It can lead to burnout, anxiety, and a sense of disconnection. We forget that we are allowed to have moments of solitude, moments where we can replenish our energy, moments where we can focus inwardly and reconnect with who we are. In a world where everyone is constantly vying for attention, we must learn that it's okay to step back. It's okay to give people the opportunity to miss us. In fact, it's essential. When we make ourselves too available, we start to lose our sense of mystery, our sense of individuality. We become a part of the noise, a constant presence in others' lives, without ever allowing ourselves the space to breathe. We become predictable, and predictability can lead to complacency. When people are never left wanting, when they never have to miss us, they lose the appreciation for what we bring to their lives. Our presence, our energy, our love becomes a given, something that is always there and, over time, may be taken for granted.